Good evening. It's very cold. It's freezing. Mr. Noisy liked to know about everything that was going on. He was always poking his nose into other people's business. Mr. Noisy was the sort of a person who, if they came upon locked doors, couldn't resist looking through the keyholes to see why the door has been locked. Mr. Noisy was the sort of person who, if he found unopened letters addressed to somebody else, would simply have to open it to find out what was inside. Mr. Noisy was the sort of person who, if he was sitting reading his paper on a train, would much rather read the paper of the person sitting next to him. Naturally, as you might well imagine, Mr. Noisy was not very popular. People did not like the way in which Mr. Noisy would pick and pry into their affairs. They did not like it at all, but did they stop Mr. Noisy picking and prying? It did not. Mr. Noisy lived in a funny tall, thin house in a place called Tittertown. The people of Tittertown decided that Mr. Noisy was becoming much too noisy, and so they had held a meeting to discuss what to do about him. We must find some way of stopping him being so noisy, said old Mr. Chip, the town of carpenter. That's right, said Mr. Washers, who ran the Tittertown laundry. He needs to be taught a lesson. If only we could think of a way to stop him poking his nose into everything, said Mr. Brush, the painter. And then a small smile spread over his face. Listen, he said, not grinning. I have the plan. I have a plan. All his friends gathered around to listen to his plan. The following morning, Mr. Noisy was about walking along Tittertown High Street when he heard somebody whistling behind one of closed doors. I wonder what's going on here, he thought to himself, and tiptoeing up to the door, he quietly opened it and peeped in. Splash! Went a very wet point brush right on the end of Mr. Noisy's nose, covering it with a bright red paint. Ho ho! Oh dear, I'm sorry, said Mr. Brushy, who was painting his inside of doors. Poor Mr. Noisy had to go straight home to try and remove the red paint, which was very difficult and rather painful. Mr. Brushy chuckled to himself. The plan had begun. The following day, Mr. Noisy was walking past the laundry when he heard somebody laughing on the other side of the well. I wonder what's going on here, he thought to himself, and standing on tiptoe he looked over the wall. Snap! Went a closes peg right on the end of Mr. Nose's nose. Ouch! Oh dear, I'm sorry, said Mr. Washer, who was hanging up clothes on a wash line on the other side of the wall. Poor Mr. Noisy removed the cloth peg and went off down the street feeling extremely sorry for himself and for his red nose. Mr. Washer chuckled to herself. The plan was working. The next day, the Miss Noisy was going past the fence when he heard hammering. I wonder what's going on here, he thought to himself, and creeping very quietly to the end of the fence, he peeped round. Bang! Went a hammer right on end of Miss Noisy's nose. Oh dear, I'm sorry, said the Mr. Chips, who was nailing up a loose plank in the fence. Poor Mr. Noisy had to go home immediately and bandage his poor red sore nose. Mr. Chip grinned a broad grin. The plan was working very well indeed. The following day, Miss Noisy was walking in the wood when he heard somebody sawing wood. I wonder what's going on here, he thought to himself, and he crept up behind the tree. He was just about peer out from behind the tree when it suddenly occurred to him that if he did, something very nasty might happen to his nose, and so he went on his way without being noticed. Behind the tree, where the sow raised his hand, stopped Mr. Hare the farmer. When he saw that Mr. Noisy had gone on his way without being noisy, he laughed and laughed and laughed. The plan was worked. Mr. Hare hurried into Teddyland to tell everybody. The plan really had worked, because after that, Mr. Noisy stopped being noisy and soon became very good friends with everybody in Tittertown. And that is the end of the story, except to say that if you were ever tempted to be as noisy as Mr. Noise used to be, you better accept one thing: a sore nose. Thank you. Have a nice day.